Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. At the very outset, I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. So the topic that they have given me is a blue water economy, but then I thought I'll discuss how enhancing blue economy through resilience and nature-based solution. Before I get into my presentation, I would like to thank our chair, Admiral, for giving a very comprehensive overview, which made very easy for me to get into my presentation, because where Sir has left, I'll continue from there. So, as Sir has already discussed how oceans are important and they has always been central to human life. For centuries, it was seen as a limitless, vast and untouched. But today, this perception no longer holds. Uh, as we can see here with the technological advancement and also after the industrial revolution onwards, even the deepest parts of the ocean or like seas have become accessible. As land-based resources become scarcer due to population growth, overconsumption, and attention has turned towards ocean. What we are witnessing today is what the scholars call now as blue acceleration, which is a rapid and widespread expansion of industrial activities into the ocean. Some of the aspects Admiral has already discussed, because this includes shipping, offshore wind energy, aquaculture, deep sea mining, and marine biology. So the blue acceleration is already causing a significant socio-ecological and biodiversity impact on our oceans' health. So in response to that blue acceleration, the concept of blue economy was first introduced by the small island developing countries. As we were now discussing, we have to, instead of addressing this country as a seeds, we are big ocean countries or states. Since then, the blue economy has been adopted globally as a framework to balance ocean-based development with the environment and social responsibility. However, we do not have a common understanding of blue economy as a concept. Even in India, even though we have blue economy frontier present enormous opportunities with over 11,000 kilometers of coastline, rich marine biodiversity, and strategic Indo-Pacific location, India's blue economy is seen as a crucial pathway to sustainable national development. It has also been reflected into the policies like draft National Blue Economy and the recent white paper which was released by Ministry of Earth Sciences on transforming India's blue economy, investment, innovation and sustainable growth. We both chart out our roadmap for national growth strategy, but when it comes to blue economy concept definition itself, India understand it's a subset of national economy, which I feel should be re-looked into, because since in the morning session as well, some of the panelists have discussed how ocean is not a subset, it is has to be looked more holistically, because it links both the land and the ocean. So these are the key sectors identified in the blue economy policy, but I'll not go into details as it's been already highlighted. So, but the unchecked momentum is now collecting with the triple planetary threats: climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution, and it's exposing acute vulnerabilities, especially in the coastal areas around the world. As global temperatures soar, ocean systems are destabilizing, mainly because sea surface temperature are increasing and oceans are facing hypoxia situation, and also its acidification are increasing. With this, it is increasing, it's impacting the sea level rise, and it's impacting the coastal ecosystems like bleaching and toxic algae, and also it's impacting the habitat like fisheries. So India, like many other coastal nations, sits at the front lines of these risks. In 2023 alone, India experienced extreme weather events as many as 318 days. And the frequency and intensity of cyclones in Arabian Sea has increased by 52%. And coastal cities like Mumbai and Kolkata are highly vulnerable to flooding and sea level rise. And over 8 million Indians are currently at risk from sea level rise alone. So if we take an example of the critical seaport infrastructure, if we don't address the resilience, so what would be the consequences? If I'll take one example of the sector, which is critical maritime infrastructure. As because the coastal infrastructure are not just economic assets, they are also arteries for trade, livelihoods, and urban life. And however, the adverse impact of climate change are throwing up numerous infrastructure vulnerabilities, disrupting our critical systems, increasing operating costs, widespread funding gaps, and also generating secondary and tertiary effects upon societies and economy. So with this, more so, we already know that 90% of India's trade by volume and 70% by value is seaborne, yet they are increasingly exposed to climate-induced disruption, and disruptions are rippled through the entire economy. A stark example is Cyclone Hutut in 2014, making landfall in Visakhapatnam. It devastated critical infrastructure, over 2,250 kilometers of road, 42 bridges, and the city's airport were damaged. Ports suffered operational downtime. HPCL's refinery was shut down. The financial loss was staggering, not just in direct damages, running into hundreds of crores, but also in cascading economic effects, cargo losses, repair costs, supply chain breakdowns, and overall economic downtime in the region. So with the CDRI and NMF, Kyoto University, we have conducted a study to understand the systemic risks in the seaport ecosystem. We try to build up a framework to understand the systemic risks. So what we have, understood, or what we try to map here is seaport have so from 5 systems of seaport: political and governance, economic, finance, human, social, cultural, ecological, and physical infrastructure. So if there's an impact or operation downtime in one system, there's a cascading impact. And also with this diagram, you can understand how all the systems are interlinked and dependent to each other. So we must think in layers. The first order impact mainly into the physical disruption, which then leads to economic and social spillovers as a second order impact. And also the long-term impact is mainly the third order impact. In this scenario, if we don't understand or reimagine coastal systems holistically, our future port may be high-tech but highly vulnerable. So this is another kind of result from the Paradip and Visakhapatnam port authorities. Mainly it's based on the perception, but still you can see here there are 3 legends corresponding to 3 different color coordination. So low impact severity, medium impact severity, and high impact severity. So with the low impact severity, port operations are down for 4 hours, and the recovery difficulty usually takes less than a day. In the third order, which is a system impact severity, where in the low impact severity, it lasts for days to weeks, and recovery takes days to weeks. In terms of medium impact severity, again, disruption lasts for 1 to 3 days, and restoration takes 1 to 3 days. And in the system or third order impact, the impact lasts for weeks to months. And similarly, in high impact severity, disruption lasts for more than 3 days to weeks, and restoration again takes the same amount of time. In the terms of systems or third order impacts last for months to years. If you see that here, you can notice that most of the systems, as we have components of systems, transportation, energy, telecommunication, and water supply and sanitation systems are largely high impact severity. But here you may notice that in the pollution, climate change, adaptation strategies, government structures, policy, you may think that it's a low impact severity, but in the long term, because of the third order impact system, it's also in the high severity because it takes longer to recover. So these events demonstrate that we cannot afford to treat resilience as an afterthought. We need to systemic risk-based approach to coastal and port planning, one that integrates climate change adaptation. So a critical question remains: how do we overcome inadequate infrastructure, protect, prevent, and recover, and build resilience of people, critical infrastructure, or ecosystem from extreme weather events, or to enhance blue economy? So there's also growing need for low cost, sustainable, and resilient solution. So one of the viable solution could be nature-based solution. Nature-based solution, as defined by the IUCN as the actions to protect, manage and restore natural ecosystem that address societal challenges effectively, adaptively, and simultaneously providing human well-being and biodiversity benefits. So these are some of the benefits that nature-based solution provides in terms of climate change, economic, social development, human health, adaptation to climate change, green jobs, community resilience, so forth and so on and so forth. So let me give you an example. Restoring mangrove forests is 2 to 5 times cheaper than building artificial breakwater or hard infrastructure. Yet they not only protect against storm surges, erosion, but also sequester carbon, support fisheries, and improve water quality. For India, this is a new idea. Our traditional knowledge system have long recognized the protective role of natural systems like mangrove and wetlands. So what we needed now is to scale and integrate these approaches into more policy and infrastructure planning, and also acknowledge and need to understand the economic value of ecosystem services that it provides. And recognizing this, India has launched MISHTI scheme, which is Mangrove Initiative for Shoreline Habitats and Tangible Incomes to conserve, prepare mangrove, expand mangrove coverage. And also it expects to add 51.78 Indian rupees, 78 billion Indian rupees in annual economic value, act as a carbon sink of 4.7 tons. Yeah, it similarly it also has a scheme like Amrit Dharohar, and also nature-based solution can provide a nature-positive infrastructure which could create over $3 trillion in business opportunities and 117 million jobs by 2030. Imagine what that could be could mean for India's coastal economy. So many, as I have highlighted, there are many definitions of blue economy still center on economic growth, overlooking the critical dimensions like climate action, social equity, ecological resilience. So this narrow view limits its true potential. What needed is holistic system-based approach, one that integrates ecological sustainability, ocean health, ecosystem, resilient infrastructure, inclusive development. As Admiral Pradeep Chauhan aptly notes that we need to focus on the blue, how blue is your economy, not focusing on the economy, but on the blue part of it. So with this, India's rich maritime heritage, scientific capacity, and global leadership, especially forums like G20, position it well to champion its leader this broader vision. And Amrit Kal Vision 2047 is also timely opportunity to rethink ocean governance as a means to address ecological challenges. So in conclusion, the blue economy is not just an opportunity, it is a shared responsibility, and it demands resilient creativity, inclusive collaborations. With this, I end my presentation here. Thank you.